Hi, I'm Skilla, and this is Nerd Stuff with Skilla. Today I wanted to talk about the 6th episode of American Horror Story Cult, called The Midwestern Assassin.
This video will contain spoilers for everything leading up to this episode and including it.
Now, I haven't gotten a chance to watch the unedited version of this episode. I just had trouble finding it online. I mean, maybe it was much more gruesome, but it didn't seem to me like they really toned down the gun violence as much as I was led to believe they were going to. Now, a lot of people on YouTube, I saw just scrolling through on my daily scroll through, that some people were saying that they were considering completely taking this episode off the air, and I never saw anything where Ryan Murphy said anything like that. It seemed like he was saying, we considered it for a moment and then found a better alternative. I don't understand why other people were putting up those kind of clickbaity lines in their titles. Let's talk about the episode. We start the episode with a shooting that happens at one of Kai's rallies. You see Ivy take cover, Harrison run away, and then we zoom up closer to the stage and we see that Kai's been shot and that Allie is holding a gun. Then we cut away from that and we get pretty much an entire scene from the previous episode, and I'm not sure if that was just to fill in space that was missing from the editing job that they did, or, in my opinion, not the better idea of how to give us a lead into what's going on, why Meadow is telling Allie everything. Meadow spills the beans on everything in this episode. She tells Allie everything that's going on in the cult, and Allie and her have to run away from Harrison and ghost-haired cop who've been banging in the living room. They go to the butchery where Meadow tells her everything that's going on. We learned that Meadow was completely in love with Kai. He won her over by complimenting her artistic abilities while she's designing these clown masks for everybody. And he tells her a line that he later also tells to Ivy, which makes Meadow feel betrayed. He says, a larva bee has to shed its skin to become the queen. A lot of people suspected that Allie was being targeted for the reason that she was, which is that Ivy didn't want in any possibility of Allie getting the option to have custody of Oz. She's trying to make her feel even crazier than she already does. And that's the basis of why they're coming after Allie. We also find out that Ivy just hates Allie. She hates her. She feels like she held it above her head that she carried Oz. It also says in the episode that Allie breastfed Oz until he was 3 years old, which it's not my place to judge people and their feeding of their children. I know that a lot of people feed or try to feed until their kids are 2. I think that it was just mostly to let us know how long Ivy felt that Allie was holding it above her head that she carried Oz. There's a scene later on where we see Kai is having another speech. A woman named Sally Keffler stands up and she announces that she's going to be running as a write-in candidate against him because she says he's a snake oil salesman, that the crime rates are actually much lower than they usually are, and that they do need to focus on what's going on with these bad things that Kai keeps on bringing up, that he's actually orchestrating all of the bad things that he brings up. At the end of that scene, she looks the devil in the eye and she says, a young man's certainty is also his burden, and I am going to relieve you of both. And Kai's like, we'll see. Allie leaves Meadow with evil-ass Dr. Vincent, and she runs over to Sally's house and tells her everything about the cult, and Sally is like bizarrely receptive to it. And in this scene, we get references to Charles Manson, Jim Jones, and David Koresh, who are all known cult leaders. And I think a lot of the things that Kai does throughout this season are informed by those actual historical figures. And Sally is talking about all this while she's rolling a joint, just so we know exactly how cool she is. Boy, wouldn't it have been nice if she had stuck around, but instead, Kai decides to show up at her house with his merry band of misfit clowns. He subdues her, and Allie runs away and hides in a room, and he writes up a suicide note for her, posts it on her Facebook, and then shoots her in the chest, and they have a little exchange that is kind of telling of their different philosophical ideas. We see Gary's mask, and I think this is the first time we've actually seen it. It's got these like crazy sharp teeth on it, and we kind of see a glimpse into how bloodthirsty Gary is, and that's kind of quieted by Kai before he finishes his evil deeds. Then Ivy goes to sweep the house to make sure nobody else is in there, and she runs into Allie, who is cowering on the floor in her room, as she's wont to do. Allie recognizes Ivy, and Ivy just walks away. She closes the door. We don't know whether she informed the rest of the group that Allie was there and that she saw her or what. At the end of the episode, we get more of the first scene of the episode. So Allie runs up to the campaign rally. Meadow, earlier in the episode, told her that the only way to stop Kai's cult was to assassinate him. Allie runs up to this rally thinking that Meadow's probably there to kill him. And she runs up on Meadow and tries to stop her, but Meadow shoots Kai in the leg. She injures or kills several other people and then turns the gun in on herself and says, "This is the face of true love." And then Allie is like trying to get the gun away from her, so she's left with the gun in her hand, and then she is subsequently arrested and Kai is taken away on a gurney. We get a scene right after that. We see Kai convincing Meadow to execute this entire plan in this season's awkward boner-inducing scene. There's one in every season. Go back and count them. He convinces her to do all of this. He never directly tells her to kill herself, but it does seem like he insinuated that, and she definitely got that idea from this exchange. At the end of the episode, Allie is taken away as the main suspect in the shooting. Our girl Meadow is dead, R.I.P. You had a lot of quips and we liked having you around. Ivy looks shook. Like, Ivy does not look happy with the situation at all, but who knows with her. Kai is taken away on a gurney. End of the episode, he kind of comes to and just smiles. Things are going according to plan, apparently. Now, next week's episode looks like we're going to get a lot more with Beverly. It looks like she might be involved in a totally separate cult, which looks kind of witchy. So maybe this is why she was so super down with all the satanic stuff that happened a little while back, because maybe she does worship Satan. It seems like maybe we're going to get the beginnings of that real power struggle between her and Kai in the next episode, because it looks like she's trying to get more people to join the cult, and Kai wants to handpick everybody and not leave anything up to chance. No, I'm still invested. I really liked this episode. I thought the narrative structure of this episode was interesting, since we had a lot of flashbacks to what Meadow remembers, and then we had some Ivy flashbacks, and it really gave us a little bit more on the motivations of different characters, and it really added a lot of depth to Meadow's weird ass. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed this episode. I really think that Ivy and possibly Winter will try to rebel against Kai. Now, whether that leaves either of them dead or not, I don't know. I really think that Beverly's going to try to take over the cult in some way, or at least be a strong enough right-hand man to be moving Kai's hands, but Kai's not going to stand for that. And I'm really interested to know, how much about the cult does Dr. Vincent know? Like, it didn't seem like he knew Meadow when he was talking to her, but maybe he did know her. Clearly, he's an expert at not looking like a liar. Even though a lot of people called him out from the very beginning as being evil. I still want to see whether Dr. Vincent is the secret shadow leader of the cult. I think that would be really cool. I won't be mad if they don't do that. Give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below with your favorite moment from this episode, or theories that you have about the rest of the season. Make sure to subscribe if you want to hear about more nerdy stuff from me. And as always, thank you so much for watching.